Hi everyone, and welcome to the fourth and final part.
Well, you don't need one of these. You don't need one of these, and you certainly don't need one of these. What you need is an ancient stone frieze. Come and have a look at this. Cut a rectangle of stiff card from a cardboard box. Now, this measures about 20 by 70 centimetres, but you can make it as big or as small as you like. Then decide what writing you're going to put onto your frieze. Now, you could put your initials, or you could put your full name, but I find most of those ancient stone friezes have dates on, especially in Roman numerals. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm just going to write 1993 in Roman numerals. You could put your birth date on, or even your telephone number. When you've done your writing, take some strips of masking tape and just very roughly
we got into the
twist
phone
the masking tape
numbers
with the sticky bit
on
the outside. Twist the whole of the tape.
tell you
like that.
number
The idea
on
being you build
social
up
media,
the figures
YouTube
into
videos.
3D relief.
You have to
just
be
by
careful.
sticking the masking tape over the figures. And you don't have to be neat about this. If you haven't got any masking tape, you could always just glue on some string or stick on some plasticine. And when you've gone over the whole of the frieze, you will have something that looks like that. Look at that. And that is perfect because all the letters are now standing up from the board. It's a bit bald, though, because I find those ancient stone friezes tended to be a little bit ornate. So, decorate it with just pieces of scrap board and paper. Now, I'll show you what I've got on here. I've stuck on, just glued on, really, some string, thick string. And then I've cut off a toothpaste box, cut it up sort of widthways, stuck them on. And this is mineral water bottle. Cut that in half. And here is a chocolate box. They're always good for the top of your frieze. And look at this. Down here, I found this old doll's head. So I've cut the face off and I've just stuck that on as well. So when you've stuck all your bits on, anything you like, and the idea is to create a design that surrounds your letters or your numerals, and so that it sticks out from the board. And when you've done that, very important, you just lay on lengths of Luro or tissue paper. That's it, just laying them on. Cover the whole of the frieze, and then mix some PVA glue with water, about equal parts, and this is the good bit. Just slop on the glue onto your loo paper. Just slopping it on. And what happens is the glue disintegrates the tissue paper and just sticks it to the backing card. And with your brush, look at that, if you just press in, looking for the shape of your frieze. And when you've done that, it takes a bit of time to do. When you've done that, you'll have something that looks like this.
Ta-da!
And while it's still wet, very important, you pour on some sand. Now it has to be wet, the glue, so that the sand will stick to it. And if some of it has dried, then just dab on some more glue and wet it again. I'm just going to chuck this on to show you how it's done. Just sprinkle the sand all over your frieze, like that. And then leave it to stand for no more than 2 minutes. It shouldn't dry out, otherwise the sand will soak up all the glue and the whole thing will fall apart. And after 2 minutes, if you shake off the excess sand, you'll have something that looks like
impressive.
That. Look at that.
That's what I call impressive.
Stone frieze. And it looks good just as it is. Or you could make a couple of them and use them to jazz up your bedroom door. And I've even made some corrugated cardboard columns here. I've painted on some PVA glue on the cardboard, sprinkled it with sand, and even made some strips of card into decoration. And you just stick them up on the bedroom door.
Okay guys, I'm bye. I'm sorry about that.
Indiana Jones' bedroom of doom.
Oh, hi again, head.
He's nice. Hello, it's me, the head. Stick object onto card.
You
cover
say
it with
that a
toilet
lot
roll, coat
in
them with
this video.
PVA glue, and finally with sand, and you can make your own ancient Roman frieze. Hey, I know another way to make an ancient Roman frieze. Pull off his toga.
Now, some of my favourite art attacks can only be described as, quite monstrous. They're great fun for me to do, and you seem to love them too. Well, our mailbag is brimming with your requests to see these hideous little beasts yet again. So what could I do? I had to put them in the video because, after all, these are your most wanted.
Good.
Forget piggy banks. This is the Art Attack Dinosaur Bank. Come and have a look at this. Blow up a balloon to roughly the same size as an Easter egg, but definitely smaller than your head. Then take 2 loo roll tubes, cut them in half, and tape them together so you have something that looks like that. And then tape them to one side of the balloon. So a bit of tape on there, and onto the side of the balloon. And there you have the legs and the body of the dinosaur. And then take a felt tip pen and very carefully draw a rectangle on the top of a balloon. Now it needs to be about 1 centimetre by 4 centimetres. It doesn't have to be neat, and that'll be the slot where your money goes later on. Then take some scrap paper that's roughly the same length as the balloon and crunch it up and bend it slightly. And you need to do 2 of those because I'm going to tape one of them to one end of the balloon. When it stands still for the neck, you just need to bend it up. There it is. And then the other to the other end of the balloon and bend that down for the tail. And the good thing about paper is that if your neck flops, just bend it up again because it's good stuff to model with. And there it is. And that's roughly the shape of your dinosaur. Now the good bit, the messy bit. Take some lengths of loo roll and start to wrap it around the dinosaur shape. You just wrap it all the way round, apart from the slot at the top. You'll see why in a minute. And then just slop on some PVA glue, mix 2 parts glue with 1 part water. And you've seen me do this before. Just slop the glue on. And what it does, it sort of disintegrates the tissue paper, or the loo paper, and binds it to the shape underneath, which is the shape of the dinosaur. And just keep slopping on the PVA and slopping on the loo paper. And you probably need 3 or 4 layers of loo paper. That's roughly equivalent to 1 whole loo roll's worth of paper. Slop on your PVA glue all over your dinosaur, apart from the slot. And when it's finished, it will look something like that. Look at that. And then take 2 small balls of scrap paper and just dip them into the glue.
Ooh.
Put them on the top of the head for eyes. There's one there and one there. And then start to slop on some paint. Now, I'm using acrylic paint here, but you can use poster paint. In fact, any type of paint you like, but I find acrylic paint is best first. And I'm doing it in a sort of green and yellow blotch colour. And who's to say dinosaurs weren't that colour, eh? You could experiment. Nobody really knows, do they? I'm just going over the whole of the dinosaur. And you see there, there's even a slot at the top where I didn't put any paper before. So go over the whole of the dinosaur, apart from the eyes, and when it's finished, you'll have something that looks like that. And I didn't paint the eyes. In fact, I have painted them white with a little black dot in the middle. And I've covered the whole thing with another layer of PVA glue, which gives it this very sort of hard finish and a nice shiny finish. And there it is, and you're ready to pop your money in. And where does the money go? Well, it goes in the slot, but you have to pop the balloon first through the slot. There we go. There it is. And you pop your money into the slot. And if you need to get your money out, just tip your dinosaur upside down, make a hole through one of his legs, get the money out, and then repair it using exactly the same process: glue, tissue paper, and paint. And there it is, the Art Attack Dinosaur Bang. Try it yourself. And of course, you can experiment using different cut-out cardboard shapes and tape them to the balloon. And in fact, you could even invent your own dinosaur. An Art Attackosaurus. Go on then, have a go. A dinosaur bang.
Hi again, Head.
Oh, they are wonderful. Hello, it's me again, the head.
I know.
Now all you need is a balloon, a toilet roll, PVA glue and paint. But the most important thing is patience. Take your time, do it properly, or it'll end up
Have
like
a
this.
little patience.
Sad, isn't it?
Like, feet at a time. Ta-da!
Now then, have you ever wanted to keep a dangerous man-eating fish in your own bedroom but couldn't be bothered clearing out or feeding it? What you need is a vicious fishes. And here it is. Come and have a look at this.